You have something you should be doing right now, something important. And you're watching this instead. Don't feel bad about it, because procrastination has nothing to do with being lazy. Most people think procrastinators are just people who don't want to work, people who lack discipline, who can't get their act together. That's completely wrong. Some of the most productive, ambitious people on the planet are chronic procrastinators. They care deeply about their work, they want to do it well, and that's exactly why they can't start. So what's going on? You have a paper due tomorrow, you've known about it for 2 weeks. You sit down at your laptop, open the document, and you clean your desk, then you organize your files, then you make a snack, then you check your phone. 2 hours gone, nothing written, you're not being lazy, you're in pain. Your brain is running from something and it's not the task. It's the feeling the task gives you. A researcher named Tim Pychyl at Carleton University has spent over 20 years studying this. His conclusion is blunt. Procrastination is not a time management problem, it's an emotion regulation problem. You don't avoid the task because it's hard. You avoid it because thinking about it makes you feel something unpleasant. Anxiety, self-doubt, boredom, fear of failing. Your brain registers that feeling the same way it registers a physical threat. And it does what brains do with threats. It runs. The part of your brain responsible for this is your amygdala. 2 almond-shaped clusters deep inside your skull that process fear and emotional reactions. When you think about that paper, your amygdala fires. Not a lot, just enough to make you squirm in your chair. And your prefrontal cortex, the rational part that makes plans and weighs consequences, tries to step in. It says, do the thing. Future, you will suffer if you don't. But your amygdala is fast. Your prefrontal cortex is slow. By the time logic kicks in, you've already opened Instagram. And this connects to something we covered before. Your phone is built to catch you in exactly that moment of weakness. That escape from discomfort. Your phone turns it into a dopamine loop that keeps you scrolling for an hour. In 2018, scientists at Ruhr University Bochum in Germany put procrastinators in a brain scanner. They weren't looking for motivation differences. They weren't measuring willpower. They were measuring brain structure. What they found surprised everyone, including them. People who procrastinate more have a physically larger amygdala. Not a little larger, measurably larger. Their threat detection center is literally bigger. On top of that, the connection between their amygdala and the part of the brain that helps regulate emotions, the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, was weaker. So procrastinators feel more threat from ordinary tasks, and they're worse at calming that threat down. That's not laziness, that's brain wiring, but that's only half of it. Your brain has another trick that keeps you stuck. It treats your future self like a stranger. Researchers at Stanford used fMRI to scan people while they thought about themselves right now versus themselves 10 years from now. The brain patterns for future me looked almost identical to the brain patterns for a random other person. Your brain doesn't recognize future you as you. So when you say, I'll do it tomorrow, your brain hears, someone else will handle it. That's not a decision. That's a handoff to someone your brain doesn't care about. Scientists call this temporal discounting. The further away a reward or consequence is, the less your brain cares about it. A deadline in 3 weeks feels fake. A deadline tomorrow feels like a heart attack. That's why you always seem to work best under pressure. Pressure doesn't make you better. Pressure is the only thing that makes the future feel real enough for your brain to act. And here's where it gets ugly. Every time you procrastinate and then feel guilty about it, something specific happens. The guilt itself becomes another negative emotion, which triggers your amygdala again, which makes you want to avoid the task even more. Guilt feeds procrastination, feeds guilt. It's a loop that tightens every time you go around. Fuschia Sirois, a researcher at the University of Sheffield, found that the single strongest predictor of chronic procrastination isn't laziness or intelligence or time management skills. It's low self-compassion. People who beat themselves up after procrastinating are more likely to do it again. People who forgive themselves, move on faster. We covered how your brain processes and cleans up emotional experiences during sleep, and that overnight processing plays directly into whether these guilt loops reset or get locked in deeper. So what breaks the cycle? 3 things. 1, shrink the task. Your amygdala reacts to the size of the threat. Write the paper is terrifying. Open the document and write one sentence. It's nothing. Your brain can handle one sentence, and once you start, momentum takes over. Pychyl calls this the progress principle. Once you see yourself making progress, the negative emotion drops. 2. Forgive yourself fast. The moment you notice you've been procrastinating, don't spiral. Say, okay, that happened, and start. Sirois' research shows this one shift, self-compassion after a slip, cuts future procrastination significantly. 3. Make the future personal. Write a letter to yourself 3 months from now. Visualize what your life looks like if you keep avoiding this, not in vague terms, in specific, painful detail. The Stanford fMRI research showed that people who felt more connected to their future self made better decisions right now. Make future you feel like you, not like some stranger who'll figure it out. So your brain does this weird thing where it protects you from discomfort by creating more of it. Understanding that changes the whole game. Procrastination isn't a discipline problem you fix with willpower. It's a fear response you fix by making the task smaller, forgiving yourself faster, and making the future feel real. Tell me in the comments, what's one thing you've been putting off? And be honest about why. If you want to understand more about the decisions your brain makes behind your back, subscribe. We decode your brain every week.